Animated or live action? Which one is better? Hey, what's up guys? Alan here. Welcome to another episode of Thoughts on This, where I speak of my thoughts. And today I'm doing something a little bit different. I am pinning against a Disney live action remake against its original animated counterpart. And today I'll be giving my thoughts on the 2020 live action remake of Mulan and its 1998 animated counterpart. And by the end, I'll testify which one is better. So without further ado, let's get started. To kick things off, let's talk about the 1998 animated classic. This film raised an entire young generation of Asian Americans and Asians around the world, including myself as an Asian Canadian. I love this movie. This is one of my favorite Disney movies overall, and one that I can resonate with. And as the first Disney film that had this sort of genuine Asian representation, it felt authentic, and it was a great start of having even more representation like this, like for films that came after it, from Lilo and Stitch and Moana, etc. This film was a pioneer for more genuine and authentic cultural representation in not just Disney movies, but in Hollywood in general. The story is what really made the film for what it is. It was endearing and inspiring for people that felt small. This story had me invested from beginning to end. It was like I was going on this journey with our main character and actually lived their story. It's the prime example of an underdog story, and the characters help carry that story and the film, especially our main heroine. Mulan is an easy to root for protagonist who is down to earth, vulnerable, and strong on both a physical and mental standpoint, showing off the strength of intelligence over physique. She is the embodiment of girls can do what guys can do and breaking those gender stereotypes. On top of that, she is somebody that stands out from the crowd and is easily relatable. What makes her unique and likable is that she strives to prove herself. Ming-Na Wen did a fantastic job in displaying all of her traits in her voice performance. Plus, it was funny to hear her try to do a man voice. Every other character is likable and unique in their own way. Mushu carried a lot of the heart and humor of the film. He's a loyal and hilarious sidekick that made the film more fun. Plus, he had great chemistry with Cricky, who barely says any words. Eddie Murphy was phenomenal in bringing this character to life. He had me laughing all throughout. He owned the character. Ling, Yao, and Chin Po also made the film more fun. You sort of dislike them at first, but you grow to like them as you get to know them deeper into the film. Shan Yu is an awesome villain. He's brutal, sinister, menacing, and straight up terrifying. He added that extra layer of drama to the film. Li Shang is a firm but fair character that is a strong leader and had great chemistry with Mulan. The relationship between the two is interesting, and I like how they are different from other Disney couples. They are not your completely romanticized couple, but rather two people that build a connection based on trust, respect, and teamwork. It's what made them stand out. The music did a brilliant job of being authentic to the Chinese culture while still maintaining that traditional Disney sound and style, where each song blended in with the story and character arc with ease. Reflection is an emotional and beautiful ballad that captures Mulan's inner conflict of trying to be someone she's not, which audiences can resonate with, and the vocals from Lea Salonga were breathtaking. This is a song that defines Mulan. I'll Make a Man Out of You was the most catchiest and easy song to sing along to. Donny Osmond helped carry this number. It's powerful, energetic, and it's the type of song that keeps you hyped up. And even though the rest of the songs weren't as memorable, they all added value in driving the story forward. The animation for the most part was pretty much the same like all the other Renaissance films that came before it, but there were parts that were beautiful, like the smoke had this artistic flair to it, and the fireworks I thought were eye-popping. I also thought that one shot of the Imperial City was visually stunning to look at, and I feel like there was so much more that could have been done to make it even more eye-catching, but I did love the artistic style that they went for, and it worked with the film. Out of all the princess films that came out of the Renaissance era, this is the one that is the most different and the most empowering. Part of it is because of its narrative, complex message, and strong female lead. All of those things is what made this film stand out and why audiences like myself are so captivated with this film. Now let's move on to talk about its live action adaptation, which suffered multiple delays and was finally released on Disney Plus through Premiere Access on September of 2020. This film takes the approach of going more towards the legend instead of the animated source material, which meant removing a lot of elements from the 1998 film, from fan favorite characters and musical numbers, although Reflection is really the only song to have a strong presence throughout the film, and a sample of Honor to Us All can be heard in the score. To be honest, I was wary about this film because of all these changes, but I saw more trailers and I was a little bit more invested. I did end up seeing the film and I thought it was 50-50. On one hand, there were certain elements and changes that were a misfire and infuriating for fans of the original, but on the other hand, there were a lot of things to like and appreciate about this film. Like, if you're going to talk about visuals and the technical elements, it excelled in all of that. The variety of camera shots and angles specifically was mind-blowing. There were plenty of unique camera tricks that pushed the boundaries of filmmaking that it was all cool to watch. The cinematography is something that I have never seen before in any other Disney live-action film. It was all put together beautifully with the editing, and it complemented the action sequences, which I thought was another big draw about this film. The stunts were crazy, and the fight scenes were well choreographed, giving us this martial arts, kung fu style type of film, which is fitting. However, the writing and character development felt dull and underwhelming because of one change by having Mulan be born with these supernatural abilities, also known as the Chi. Having her already be equipped with these gifts and talents was a lousy choice. It hurts her character development by leaving her with no obstacles to overcome, making the character feel flat. It killed every relatable aspect that the character possessed from the animated film. And whatever quality that made the character special in the first place was completely nerfed in this film. Overall, completely misguided. The witch was a pretty compelling character out of all the new ones. From her abilities to shapeshift and possess someone's body, and her terrifying aura made her feel like a scary threat, more scarier than Boracon, who was still pretty scary, but how they introduced her was awesome. Like, when you first meet her, she was this sinister force to be reckoned with, but as we went deeper into the film, her motivations as a villain got confusing. For example, her knowing everything about Mulan without having a single interaction before their big confrontation, which was actually the first time we see them interact with each other, by the way, was completely 180, and begged me to question, what was the point? Like, it felt very inconsistent. It's not a bad character, it's that the potential of her being great was completely missed. As for the performances, they did their job, but it wasn't anything groundbreaking. They were all pretty forgettable other than Yifei Liu, and although she made some controversial comments regarding support for the Hong Kong police, she still puts on a stellar performance, bringing both acting chops and fighting skills, and the stunt she performed was impressive, like she committed, and the aura she brought to her performance did the animated counterpart justice. Overall, the film was pretty solid. It may have missed the mark with the narrative and characterization, but it did a great job in everything else. Was it the best live-action remake? No, but it wasn't the worst either. Even though there were a lot of things this film did its counterpart justice on when it came to cinematography, production design, and action, the animated film was still way better with the storytelling and characterization. And what really made it superior is the amount of heart it has. And the legacy it has left behind is irreplaceable. And no other Disney animated film could take that away from it. Alright, that sums up all of my thoughts on both of these films, and if you agree, disagree, or enjoyed this video, let me know your thoughts down in the comments. And if you haven't already subscribed, that would really mean a lot. And let me know, what other Disney live action remake do you want me to pin against its original animated counterpart? But for now, that's all I have to say, and I hope to see you next time. Bye!